They're all dead. Don't have to wait this time, 'cause I'm giving up on my sense of control.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to a very disgusting edition of Horrors of Hibiki right here. Hibiki TMD on YouTube. Hit that red button down below, subscribe. All the goodness, everything nerdy in between. As always, join beside me, episode 2. It's not Horrors of Hibiki without my co-host, the architect, the brainchild behind this week's episode and what we're reviewing. Thank you so much, TJ. Welcome back.
Hey, you're quite welcome.
Welcome back, TJ, Kite Man, whatever you know him as, whatever you call him as. How you been? What's going on?
What's up, dude? Yeah, I figured I'd pick this one just to fuck us up and put us on another track. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not opposed to doing all the genres of horror at all. And to be fair, this movie is fucking gross. I don't recommend it, but I've seen worse. You know.
Oh, I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse in this movie. Trust me.
Jesus Christ, any the last 6 trauma movies, I would say, are just as disgusting, if not a little more disturbing. Like I don't know. I tagged you and our buddy Matthias Thrasher, cheap plug on Twitter, last week. If you saw the movie Terror Firmer, but by the end of that movie, you're scarred a little bit.
Well, that's one movie that's on my list of disturbing movies that I have to watch.
We'll get there one day. Before we do, obviously what we're talking about is the thumbnail gives it away and all that shit. Human Centipede, released in 2009, the first of a trilogy, or a sequence, as they're known in this trilogy. Directed by Tom Six in 2009. There's quite the backstory to this movie, TJ. A little deep dive fun facts I found out. According to the director of this movie, the concept of this movie actually came from a joke him and his friends made as children about punishing a child molester.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
That's what's wild, right?
No, explain some more.
Well, he kind of took that, and it was a hybrid of another inspiration he had. He was fascinated on reading up of the Nazi medical experiment labs they would have during World War II, performed by Nazi surgeons like Mengele, excuse my pronunciation, and Auschwitz concentration camp. So he kind of took the Nazis torturing people and just what he will do to child molesters and put it in one big fucked up movie.
So that's interesting. He took child molesters and Nazi war crimes and made it into a movie.
Yeah. Essentially. And in a way, it's kind of weird because, the main villain, this takes place in Germany. The main villain was this weird, eccentric, ugly German guy. Spoiler alert, there will be spoilers in our episodes, guys. So, look at these as companion pieces. So, disclaimer, I guess we should put, Teej, if you haven't seen the movie, you might not want to watch our episodes because we're going to talk about all of it. That's fair to say.
Well, it's people sewn, their asses sewn together. There's not much spoilers there, right?
No. Put the tweet out earlier today, on paper, 2009, however many years ago that was now, 12, 13 years. The title Human Centipede, I was like, all right, because this, the Fly and this metamorphosis horror grotesque fucking monster, I was, all right, it's kind of a throwback to some 60s, 70s shit. Nope, absolutely not the name of the game in this. But let's quit fucking around. Let's get right down to it. Just our review on this movie. I would say the one thing I think this movie suffers from, for me, TJ, is the pacing is way off. Certain parts in this go on way too long.
I'd agree with that, but I don't. I think the pacing did well for setting up what they were doing. There were certain things. It's at the very beginning of the movie, you had the truck driver, and it's and he played no part in the rest of the movie, and it's kind of like, what was that? But the rest of the pacing, you're watching this movie, you've heard of this movie, you're expecting it to be just Human Centipede right away, and it's not.
That's the part like I appreciated the most. I feel like the build was good because you knew what was coming, right? From the second those girls showed up at the doctor's house to,
Oh yeah,
you know, and he like literally you know, when they woke up in the fucking bed strapped in, he had his whole graph chart out illustrating literal illustrations of a human centipede and how this is going to go down, explaining to his victims. It was really well done. And I will say the actor nailed it. The German doctor, I thought he did his part. He went above and beyond at being creepy. And
he did great.
And
he did great as like the crazy, like you said before, the crazy Nazi fucking doctor. He did fucking great at it.
questionable casting by the end. So like the cop that kills him. Okay, I don't know why. Like our hero had to look like. Remember when Will Sasso on Mad TV would dress up as Kenny Rogers? He looked like Will Sasso as Kenny Rogers. And to see him just take that.
I do not remember that.
Really? Oh my god, I'm gonna link you some clips from Mad TV after this. So, but to see him like take the bullet right to the belly like that is very fitting for Will Sasso joke.
Oh, you jumped to the end where everybody shot each other.
I'm gonna be all over the place. So, like in the beginning of this movie, yes, it takes place in Germany. We see the doctor sitting car side. It looks like he's straight up fucking jerking off, but we see down he's not. He's looking like a photograph of like a dog, and he's like grieving or something weird. German.
Oh wait, you talking about when they first broke down and the
I'm talking about
the guy drives up? That's not the doctor.
I thought it was the doctor. The truck driver drives up, and then bam, he shoots him in the head. He captures the truck driver, and then he takes the truck driver in for experiments, and he kills the truck driver like right away. Like he injects him.
I thought you were talking about something different.
You're talking about Toshiro, right? The Japanese guy, I think.
No, I was talking about when they first broke down and this weird guy pulls up a side door.
Oh yeah, So that's the very opening scene of the movie. What I explained. What you're explaining is like the next scene with our two girls, our American tourists, and they break down. You're right. Go on, TJ.
And he's just like being like weird and like doing like the tongue lick thing, and they're like, "Yeah, the fuck is this guy?" And they eventually get out of there, and they go to the fucking doctor's house. They make their way there.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. In retrospect, it probably would have been a good idea to go with Chester the molester as opposed to where they chose. Because at least, like, then, they could have both taken him, at least killed him or something, as opposed to they're drugged at the doctor's and shot with darts. Fucking.
I agree with that. They had the best bet with going, like, with the weird fucking guy. Rather than leave the fucking car and walk to the goddamn doctor's house.
I'm rolling with the rapist tonight. Fuck this other guy. Jesus. How far have we fallen on the channel, by the way? My God, what a sentence. I'll try to pick up the pieces. So, yes, the girls. This kind of reminded me of the scene from A Clockwork Orange 2. And, like, totally opposite. Because it was, like, Alex and his droogs tricking her. But, like, just how they showed up at his door in the rain. I got vibes like that. But they show up immediately. If you don't get red flags from this doctor, I wouldn't have even taken one step in his fucking house. My God. I mean, but I guess desperate times call for desperate measures.
No, I agree. It's like the complete 180 of Clockwork Orange of what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and Clockwork Orange, they go in there and they rape people. And this one, it's 180 and they get turned into human centipedes.
She was trying to escape a rapist, but the girls ended up essentially at like an Alex and his droogs house. Not that the Alex and his droogs, yes, they were rapists and they're pieces of shit, but they weren't like attaching people, but it's a whole other level of evil. So yes, the doctor asked the girls if they would each like a drink, and they both just said water repeatedly, by the way. I feel like they said water like 18 times. I guess, and they were kind of just trying to be like, the girls were smart enough to know if it was like an alcoholic drink, they could be drugged. But they weren't that smart because you can drug any drink.
Yeah, exactly.
So he gets their water. The one girl does drink her water. The other girl accidentally spills her water because she's had a day. She's had a fucking day, and she's stressed to the max. And he's visibly frustrated. He sees that the effects are working on the girl's friend. She's passed out. The other girl's freaking the fuck out. So the doctor, desperate now, because the girl's finding out what's going on here, just pokes her in the back of the fucking neck with a syringe, and she's out. That's simple.
Yeah, easy peasy.
And now,
there you go.
Now that, up to this point, this could be considered quite disturbing for a lot of people in the movie. But we've only just begun. Because now as we open
this is nothing compared to what happens.
Now as we open our sleepy little eyes from our little Never Neverland, we wake up strapped in the beds like I was saying earlier. Take it, TJ. What did you think of how the actor who did the doctor portrayed his little battle plan speech here with the illustrations? Did you like this part of the movie?
Oh, I thought that dude was great. I mean, he was like disturbing. He was great. He had his whole plan of doing what he wanted to do, and like basically, fuck all y'all in the bed. This is what's going to happen. I mean, it was disturbing, but it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is, and it's not like Saw isn't gross, but this is like NC-17 Saw, this movie, I feel like. Just the surgery. They flat out, like, literally show everything. Like, you feel like you're watching TLC a little bit, you know?
Right, I get you.
I
get you. You like to watch a Saw movie and you expect, like, a bunch of gore and everything. This one, it was just like, oh...
And I love that
what the fuck is going on?
I love that you said it on our first episode where you're not a big gore hound. I like gore, but I have my limits like you. Like, to me, gore doesn't make a good horror movie at all. So my favorite horror movies aren't that gory, to be honest.
Right.
But there's gore, and then there's just fucking uncomfortable. Like, I would rather watch a ridiculous, like, Toxic Avenger, disgusting, gory movie over, like I just said, any actual surgery show on TLC. Because that's when I start, because that's like, God damn. I don't know why I'm like that either. I don't know if you guys are like that.
No, I'm not like that either. I don't like gore for gore. I think a lot of movies nowadays, or maybe not so much nowadays, but there's a lot of movies that are just gore for gore, and it's like, what's the purpose?
And it's
there's
like,
no purpose.
I agree. And it's those movies that are gore for gore, but at the same time, they're not self-aware. Like, you can do gore for gore, like Peter, who knew Peter Jackson, his first movie, Bad Taste, a disgusting, gory movie. But he was self-aware and how ridiculous, and he embraced the silliness. You know what I mean? And I feel like gore is essential, and when it calls for it, I'm fine with it, especially when you're talking character-driven franchises like the slashers. In the early films, you've got to establish why a Leatherface, why a Jason, why these guys should be terrifying. So you need to drive it home with some gore. You do. You know, there's a fine line.
No, right. I completely agree. And I think those movies, even those movies, I don't think the gore is as bad as what you see nowadays with like the Saw franchise, with other franchises of just gore for gore, you know?
Yeah. I didn't hate like Saw 1 and 2. 2 was fun. They should have just stopped there. But we all know how that goes with horror movies in Hollywood. Especially popular ones. It's ridiculous.
Oh, they had to keep going.
Unfortunately,
I mean, there's a bunch of gore hounds out there that love the torture porn and love the gore, and it's like that's not so much for me, man.
But at the same time, for me, it's like teach their own, and it's just like on this channel and on Union Smack when if I'm talking wrestling, if I'm talking video games, all this shit's subjective, and there's tiers to this shit, right? So like our buddy Jim, cheap plug, drink a beer, play a game. He loves like shoot 'em up games, but he hates like RPGs, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's like his taste. So guys, if you like gore, we're not saying you're wrong. It's just not for us. But if you like
it's not for us.
Get your gore in. Let's get back.
I mean, I'll do it, but it's not for me.
Let's get back to our long, winding, disgusting road this week. Back to Human Centipede. So now it's established. The battle plan is set in stone. These people know. And I think that's what makes these kind of movies the worst as far as psychological terror. When you know you're fucked and you can't do anything about it, when you exploit vulnerability on screen, that's like the perfect emotion to strike to your viewer. So that part of this movie I really appreciate, because these people know they're fucked.
I agree. I think this movie was more psychological terror than it was anything else. Because, yeah, exactly what you said. You know you're fucked. What can you do?
You just got to bite the bullet or eat the turds in this case.
Or eat the turds, yeah.
So now the girls have a buddy with them, at least now. Enter again the Japanese man in this who doesn't speak any English. The doctor just got a random Japanese guy for some reason.
He's the lead centipede.
He is the lead centipede. He's Mr. Lucky, who also dies first. So being the lead's overrated, I guess.
Well, I mean, shit, what would you do?
I don't know, man. I guess I'd go with the Japanese samurai honor like he did. You know? They also made his character a little complex too, like right before he takes his own life, he said that he deserved this and he led a bad life. Unless he's like maybe he meant he was a child molester, going back to the director's, little brainchild for this. Maybe the director, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he was a bad guy, but still, were the girls bad guys too?
Absolutely not.
I mean,
the girls were not. They're absolutely not.
Once he sewed them all up, he had them walking around his backyard, and he was trying to trying to make the Japanese dude like deliver his newspaper to him and shit like that. It's like, fuck. If he was a child molester, okay, but holy shit, man, that was nuts.
It's never really explained too. Like after I've watched this movie twice, by the way, since we've talked about.
Oh, you watched it twice? I watched it once.
We did a little thing with cheap plug again, our buddy Crooked from Mega Man Bros, and then I decided to watch this because I knew we were doing this today because it'd been like 2 weeks. So I guess my biggest complaint about this movie, besides like I said earlier, the pacing, some parts. There's never really, like, what is the end game for the doctor in this? Like, I guess on paper it's easy to just say, well, get a fucking dog if you want to turn these people to a pet. But it's never really established, like, does he want to create this new breed of human for riches? Is this some, like, sexual desire? Because we never see him, like, get really sexual at all. It's never really explained, like, why he does this. It can only be chalked up to he's just fucking insane. He likes torturing people.
I mean, I think that's what it is. I don't think there's any end game for him. I think he just wanted to do it.
Somebody's bored. Somebody needs to get a hobby. Just collect some stamps. Something.
Buy comic books. I don't fucking know. But I think it was, he wanted to do it. I think he might have been maybe he was like a part of the Nazi regime or something like that, and he just wanted to continue on his experiments. I don't know, but I think he did it just to fucking do it. I don't think there was any reason beyond that, to be honest.
I just kind of wish that part would have had some more clarity as to like why we're here, you know?
Well, you know what? I think that's what makes the movie better. Even the movie sucked. Is that there was no reason for him doing that. He just did it to do it.
We did also breeze over. That's one thing I do want to bring up during the course of this series. I know already because before we haven't reviewed any slashers yet, but you and I are going to bitch so much at the way victims try to run from their attackers because it's so bad, right, in cinema. I will say in this, the one girl, she gave a valiant fucking effort. She really did.
She did.
She got so close, man. Just not close enough. I thought that was really well done, too. It was nice to see victims not act like imbeciles in times of sheer panic. Because that's what I would have done. I can't think of any other way she would have had to do it. That's how you would have had to get your friend the fuck out of there. In retrospect, if she hadn't gone back and got her friend, she would have lived. But then how could you root for that protagonist then if she abandoned her best friend? So...
No, I agree. I mean, once she got loose like that and she ran for her fucking life, and then, yeah, she fucked up.
Biggest elephant.
But no, she did it a lot better than what the final girl or any other girl will do in a fucking slasher film.
Yeah. Even Jamie Lee Curtis at her best, probably. The elephant in the room. Yes, it's time to address it. What goes in must come out, TJ. It's got to be the second most disgusting part of the movie. We've got to talk about it because everyone's wondering if they show it, if it happens. Yes, the Japanese man shits in the girl's mouth. He holds it and holds it. He just can't do it anymore, and you can tell that he's so sorry, but he just shits. And
Yeah.
how do I review this? I guess
Yeah.
the director,
yeah.
the director did get it right with the visual effects, because if you're ingesting this much human feces over time, like the girl in the end who eventually died, her skin was turning like gangreneish, and she was just sick. That would happen. You can't just eat human shit to this amount and not get sick and die, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's what a segment. I got nothing.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now because you haven't watched it, but the second movie where the dude staples people to each other.
Oh no.
You see the shit shooting out of the staples.
Oh god. Does it come out of the pores of their skin too?
No, just staples.
Oh god. All right, we got the shittiest part of the movie out of the way. Huh? See what I did? Like that?
And he, god damn, yeah, the Japanese dude. And no matter what he did to deserve to be there, shit, that was
Yeah.
that was fucked up, man.
Not many things are going to make us
Fuck it.
speechless on this series. There's one of them. Timestamp it, guys, right there. We're left speechless after that scene. At least I was. We're pretty much hitting the home stretch now. Like, the Japanese guy's dead. Some cops now are in the scene. The one girl's friend, eventually, she's just sick and dies. So now the poor girl in the middle is alive with two dead people attached to both sides of her. That's quite the sight.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how the movie ended, right? It was like the woman
Yeah.
in the middle, like
Yeah.
and all the cops are dead and everything.
Yep. It's left. So long story short, guys, we'll get to the climax here because I know it's getting close to 30 minutes. Cops bust in. There's a lot of shit going down. The doctor takes out the one cop. The other cop, who looks like Will Sasso as Kenny Rogers from Mad TV, finds the human centipede people in the room. He doesn't even try to help them. Like, that's one thing. Like, he's so shocked and disgusted and terrified. He just, like, freaks out. And he's just like, I'll be back. And he goes to find the doctor in his indoor pool, which is a very nice fucking indoor pool. This guy had everything.
It is a very nice indoor pool.
This guy had everything. He just threw it all away for shit. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, his house was nice, man.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
He's living like goddamn fucking P. Diddy up in there. The doctor finds him. Excuse me, the police officer finds the doctor sitting really weird in his little pool area. The doctor shoots the cop in the stomach, but before the cop dies, manages to shoot the doctor right in the head. Both men die, and we go to the final scene of the movie, like you said, TJ. The girl in the middle, the poor girl in the middle, and it's not like she can even yell because she's attached. Like, the second half of this movie, these three actors are just sobbing and whimpering, essentially. That's all they can do. And it just ends.
I mean,
it ends with her trapped, nothing she can do. No, you would think you would hear, in most horror movies, like, oh, help's on the way, I hear sirens. Nothing. And I think that was, a lot of people hate this ending. I actually loved the ending. It was perfect.
I did too. To be honest, I did too.
I love horror movies that always end on doom and gloom, because that's why we're here in the fucking first place. If I want to see a valiant hero, I'll go watch fucking Star Wars: The Lord of the Rings.
I mean, you got to figure that she sat there and she, I guess, starved to death with nobody coming there to see her. I mean, that's the only ending you can think for her, right?
I would have to, because God knows. I mean, Christ, it could have been even 2 to 3 more days, and she probably could have died. You would think,
right?
And also, This is also something that Hollywood, and how, if Hollywood would put this in horror movies, every horror movie would get like an X rating or something. So like when the human body dies in real life, you immediately, all your excrement leaves your body. That's everybody pretty much knows that. So this poor woman in the middle, if this was even more reality based, the second the Japanese man died, you know, there's a buffet of shit.
You just put a Jesus Christ, really, man? Come on.
I released the director's cut. Right there is what I did.
Holy shit.
Hey, you wanted to review this, so I reviewed it. You asked for the goods, and I gave it to you on wholesale.
I didn't think about the Japanese dude like releasing all his bodily fluids into. Hey, oh wait, here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. How did they pee?
I guess they just don't. It just stays in. So wouldn't your bladder just rupture too? So like your kidneys and all that shit would be backed up and fucked up, right?
So can they still pee while they're human centipeded?
Is it explained that like their genitals are like sewn or anything?
No, it doesn't. But that was a thing that I thought about when I was watching all three fucking movies. Like, how did they pee?
Maybe our beloved director Tom Six knew that two guys that are almost 40 years old are going to do a podcast on this movie 10 years later, and he knew, so he left it hanging. Who knows?
I'll go with that.
I can't believe we did this, man, but you know what? Between you and me, I'm really fucking proud of us that we reviewed this shit movie. Literal shit movie.
Yeah. I mean, I told you I was going to watch it, and yeah, keep watching fuck up movies. Yeah, I'm gonna stop now.
What do you grade Human Centipede first sequence out of 5 coffins, Tej?
I'll give it a 2.
That's what I was gonna say. Look at that. I agree. I would say if you're easily disturbed, obviously don't watch this. I think 90% of people know what they're signing up for. I think psychologically it leaves you uncomfortable, and that's the feeling that you're supposed to be left with, and I think it nails that, especially with the ending.
I think so too. I mean, honestly, it wasn't a horrible movie, but it's like it's something I'm not going to watch again.
I don't know why we needed a trilogy. Like, this would have just been a perfect standalone film, to be honest. Even though the other movies aren't really correlated, like you said, the second one starts with some guy just watched this movie, and then it happened to him.
Yeah.
But still, like, you know, that's 2 coffins out from us. I guess is 2 out of 5 a recommend, or enter at your own risk. I guess is 2 out of 5.
So, what's the next movie? It's your pick.
Well, I kind of DM'd this to you the other day, but looking back, like I want to mix it up more. So I'm going to save what I told you with Bram Stoker's Dracula, because we just did a Dracula. So this time for my pick, I'm going to go a lot easier on us. For better or for worse, I'm going to give us, you ready? 1995's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Next time right here on Horrors of Hibiki.
Okay.
Robert De Niro.
Is that the one with Robert? Yeah, it's the one with Robert De Niro. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. As Frankenstein. I actually have the pinball game for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein on my Switch. It fucking sucks. Just like the movie. But yeah, that's where we're headed next week. A little safer territory for us. One more time, TJ, if you want to plug yourself, where can everyone catch you on Twitter and Instagram also?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter.
He's there. He's not lying. He is there. As always, follow me on Twitter at HusHogan. Hit that red button down below. Subscribe right here. Hibiki TMD on YouTube. Retro gaming, pro wrestling, heavy metal, horror podcast. Terry Bollea's bullshit. Now catch Union Smack on all streaming services. Spotify, Stitcher, Audible. You name it, we're on it. No reason not to check us out. Your official Hibiki TMD merch. Unionsmack.bigcartel.com. Check it out today. Tons of sales going over there, TJ. Tons of stuff flying off the shelves. Thank you guys for the support. Almost 1,000 downloads on Spotify in the last month alone. Blown away. Again, thank you guys. And shout out to my main man, The Rock, Rocky Baya, for featuring us on his Pro Wrestling Tees store, our newest addition to the Union Smack merch, our brand new Union Smack t-shirts. Get over there today, pick one up. Rocky Baya, ProWrestlingTees.com. Until next time, this is Horrors of Hibiki. I feel cleansed. I'm glad this is over with. I'm going to go take 8 showers. Thank you, TJ, for joining me. And as always, see you then.